Hi, sweet friends. Welcome back. If you're new here, hello. My name is Amy and welcome. I hope that everyone enjoys your time here. Now, today we're going to be continuing my spring decorating series, and we're going to be in my small entryway. I have a console table in there, and I wanted to share a couple of different ways to style an entryway console for spring, so I'd love your opinion on which is your favorite. And then we'll style some wall hooks and our little bench in there as well. Now, I am excited to share a couple of new finds that I want to incorporate in our kitchen, so definitely stay tuned for that. If you do enjoy today's video, I would appreciate a big thumbs up, maybe even a share over in your socials. That really does help me out. And if you are new and like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you click out. I'd love to have you back. All right, friends, well, let's go ahead and do some spring decorating. I hope you enjoy. Here's your first look at our small entryway, and of course, my sweet assistant, Nyla, our fur baby, is perched in her favorite spot on the staircase. Although our entryway is more like a hallway, I've tried to use pieces that would enhance its beauty and make the space feel a little bit bigger, like adding a mirror and also the functionality of a bench right by the front door. Now, because our entryway is more like a hallway, it still does connect the three main living areas in our home: our dining room, kitchen, and living room. So my goal when decorating the space is to keep it welcoming as well as coordinating with the adjoining rooms. So for today's spring decorating, we'll start with our burlwood console table. Now, as you see, I did keep my lamp here on this end and the picture that I picked up from Target. For this first example, I'm bringing in a fun, whimsical teacup planter that I'll add a faux houseplant inside. This instantly brings a natural, fresh look to your space without the upkeep. Adding a coffee table book to the console creates a layered look, and it elevates the box that I'll place on top, adding variation in height and interest. Inside the box, I'm going to place a few treasured photos. This is going to give a personal, meaningful touch while turning memories into a beautiful display. To the opposite side, to balance the height of the lamp, I'm going to add this angular vase, and then inside I'm going to place 4 individual stems. This is a delicate flower that looks super realistic. I found these stems at Michael's. Each stem was $2.99, and I believe all of their florals are now 40 to 50% off, so you can really get a huge bang for your buck. Now, when I'm placing florals inside, what I like to do is create a base with the actual stem. So as you see, it kind of has a circular form. That way it stands up kind of by itself. And then I try to take each stem and give it a little bit of a curve, much like what you would see in nature. And this is going to, again, help your florals look a little bit more realistic. Alright, so now it's time to add in some more spring accents with various heights and textures. Complementing the color in both the florals and the painting, I placed that adorable faux copper patina Mama and Papa rabbit figurine. And to tie in and make the frame pop, I'm adding a unique shaped gold watering can to complete this side. For the second example, I've removed the lamp, and in its place I'm going to add a group of 3, adding height and visual interest. First, I came in with a large antique finish vessel, then I'll add a smaller vessel from Hobby Lobby in a similar colorway. Then lastly, I'll add this beautiful lidded marble dish, bringing in a timeless elegance and a touch of luxury to the arrangement. Since Easter is just around the corner, I think that adding 2 stems of this lily variety floral is a perfect touch to add to this larger vase. Once again, popping over to the opposite side, I want to balance and add height. So for this arrangement, I'm coming in with this round riser and setting an antique bird cage on top. During the spring, especially, I love to decorate with birds and rabbits, adding a whimsical, fresh feel that celebrates nature and the joy of the season. Inside the bird cage, I'm going to first add some of this greenery. I got this from Michael's, and I'm going to use 3 stems inside, tucking them into the bottom, and then you're going to see I'm going to pull the greenery in random areas through the slots within the cage. This will give the greenery a more organic and realistic vibe. Next, I'm going to place a couple of these adorable rabbits inside the cage, as well as just beneath it, nestled within some greenery. Next, to fill in the center, I'm going to add some lower profile pieces, first with this new coffee table book by Leanne Ford titled This Slowdown. It's really a great quality book with lots of inspiration. Then on top of it, I added this 2-handled bowl that I placed on a diagonal to create more movement and interest. Lastly, I'll add these lush green moss balls from Kirkland's for a perfect spring touch. And then one final thing to complete this arrangement is to pull just a touch of white over to this side. So I added that swirled taper candle and an antique brass candle holder. And I just love this arrangement and how it has both new and old pieces combined together for a really unique spring feel. Also, make sure you stick around to the end because I actually will show you the third console styling choice, which is a combination of both. So definitely, I'd love to know which is your favorite console styling that you saw today. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish up decorating here in our entryway for spring. So the next area that I like to style seasonally are these wall hooks. And so for spring, I think it is a super sweet touch to add a spring hat. I'm going to go ahead and play around with the placement of the existing decor that I've had here. And I'm going to add a watering can and change out the dried florals in the basket for a more spring appropriate flower, some tulips. The last little area here in our entryway that I want to style for spring is the bench. So simply, I'm going to add a cozy blanket. It ties in with the colors that are going on in the dining room. I'll also bring in this pillow that I found from Walmart in the My Texas House collection, a coffee table book, and then this brass container that I'm going to fill with some suckers for a sweet little treat that guests can grab as they come and go. As we swing over to the opposite side of the door, I like to add something here, usually with a little bit of height. So what I'm doing for spring is bringing in this antique basket, and I'm going to fill it with 3 individual stems. These were from Michael's, and original price was $9.99. And again, there are 40 to 50% off, but I absolutely love the realistic look of these. Once again, you're going to see that I'm taking some extra time to bend and separate the branches for a more lush, full look. Now that the decorating is done in the entryway, I wanted to hop over into the kitchen and remove and change our existing valance that is hanging over our kitchen window to something a little bit more lightweight and spring-like in appearance. To hang the curtain, I opted to use a tension rod so that there wouldn't be any unnecessary holes. The valance that I chose for spring has a romantic floral pattern and some modern vibes associated to bring it in a cottage style. I found it off of Wayfair, and so I'll have it linked down below, as well as many of the other items that I decorated with today. An added feature is this tie-up strap, which allows for 2 adjustments, allowing for multiple looks in one. Now it features a soft curtain that diffuses excessive light while offering a little bit of privacy, which is perfect for our kitchen. It is machine washable, which is another bonus, and it also comes in two lengths, 18 inches and 20. I opted for the shorter one in our kitchen, but over in our breakfast nook, I went ahead and ordered the 20-inch. But you'll see right out of the package, it requires very little ironing, and I couldn't be more pleased. So I'm going to get this on the tension rod and get it in place and see how it looks. Alright, so here is a look at the two strap lengths. I really like that you can have the versatility to change that up. Now you might see here that the tension rod is having a little bit of trouble fitting up close to the ceiling because of our molding. So I'm going to work on that, get it the way I like, and then I'll show you how it turns out. Last up, I want to share a new chair that I fell in love with from the Hearth and Hand line from Target to replace our 20-plus-year-old chairs currently in our breakfast nook. But first, I need to put it together. So far, I have had a blast sharing my spring decorating series with you. Now we still have a few areas left to decorate, so I'll be sharing my master bedroom, our guest bathroom, and powder bathroom, and how I plan to style those for spring. And I would also like to share an Easter tablescape, so if any of those would interest you, I'd love if you'd let me know down in the comments. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell, so that you'll be notified when I do post a new video. Alright, so out with the old and in with the new. What do you think of the switch? I'm loving the fresh look already. This chair is beautiful, well made, and easy to assemble. I absolutely love the padded seat and back for a super comfy seating experience. And not to mention the olive green material looks amazing with our Laloy rugs. Plus, can you believe it? The finish on the sleek dowel legs matches perfectly with the finish on our tabletop. Alright, well that finishes up today's video. I hope that you enjoyed decorating with me today. I'd love to know which is your favorite console styling, and then what is your opinion on the chairs? I'd love to hear, so drop that down in the comments and let me know. Well, now let's finish our time together in my favorite part, which is sharing in God's Word. So today I'll be reading from Psalms chapter 4, verse 8. I will lie down and sleep in peace. For you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. I thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and week, and that you're seeing signs of spring popping up in your area, whether that be greener grass or some spring flowers. I hope you're able to get out and enjoy God's creation. All right, well, I will see you real soon in my next one. But until then, take care and God bless. Bye, friends.